Yeah, big welcome to you, Aries. The sun in Taurus, the sun in the neck or the throat, right? Holding your head, right? So I just realized that we only need 11 friends, right? And if we have a good connection with these 11 friends, which are all the different zodiac signs, we get along with the whole world. It's really simple like that, right? It's kind of like your group should be of 12 people, right? The sun, of course, and 12 apostles, right? And when you have that, when you understand that these 12 are the 12 zodiac signs, then you are a master. And that's what you are, right? You are Aries, the emperor. The sun, though, right now in Taurus is pleasure, is having also a feeling to all the earthly things, to the things that we can actually grab, the things that we can actually eat, the things that we can actually touch, right? It's a Taurus is a very earthy sign, a very how would I say, very pleasure-oriented energy, right? And the pleasure here, as we can see now, and if you've been with me for a while, just skip forward to the reading, right? Because this is for those who come new to my channel, right? So if you're new, welcome. And I first bring you through the sun, because the sun is influencing your ego, is your external, and you as an Aries, right? You know what that means, right? You know what an ego means. Two towers, right, which then in Edgar Waite have become just two simple gray pillars. But here in the Hermetic Tarot, which is in a way the story, the most clear signs Taurus has, right? He has the pentagram, he has the three stages of evolution, right? In a way of body, mind, and soul. But he also has the hexagram right above his head. And they say that the hexagram that's pointing down is made of Hebrew, Greek, and Latin letters, right? And these three symbols are the most important ones that you need to understand if you want, of course, to be someone that speaks about the spiritual, someone that is like these two men, right? We're in this secret brotherhood that was formed 1888, then here 1910, 1969, Aleister Crowley, Edgar Waite, they brought out their tarot deck and learned whatever they could learn in this secret brotherhood. That's why I show you, because later in the reading I am able to refer back to some of the symbolisms that are in these three stages of these three evolutions, right? Because I mean, this is a trinity as well, as you can see, three evolutionary stages of how the tarot has evolved further and further. Here the triangle, right? Here the pentagram in his heart, because he cares for humanity, right? It's his job to teach us what he has understood. Simple as that, right? Then, of course, I don't want to stay too long. Each time I pick something else. But this time, here we have Taurus. Here we have this beautiful energy, the meditation of the native Indians. I love it because the forest is the cathedral. He is here between himself and the world. He is creating the peace, or living peace from the inside out. 5 people listening to him, and all from different ethnicities, right? Here, Hermann Handel, a beautiful story as well here, a reconciliation between the German and the Jews by putting the letters together with the rune alphabet. And this old wise man is listening to this man, and this one that's praying and listening. And looking at him, right? They're both listening to him, looking at him, because they know he has the information. For me, in yoga, it's a movement. It's the high priestess standing upright, praying to the moon, and then we bow down in Namaste, coming and bringing the five, right, the pentagram, the last human number, where we understand the higher spiritual messages. All 5 points are pointing to the pentagram. Then the hexagram in a way like an arrow that comes down and an arrow that comes up. Inhale, I come back up. Exhale, I come back down. The crossing behind the throat, the 5th chakra here. And again, it's giving you an understanding that everything has a meaning when we look at cards, when we look at painting. I'm also studying the great painters, and some of these paintings, I mean, it's unbelievable, the messages that are in there. So I'm trying as much to incorporate some of these symbolisms that are here, but of course I want to do it in a more modern way, more simplistic way, right? But it's these 3 steps down. I exhale, I'm empty, but I am down in the heaviest part, in the earth. Inhale, I come up, right? And I'm full, but I'm all the way up in the sky, but I'm full. So it's this oxymoron that I try to as well bring into this card. So you, of course, Aries, right? You are the emperor. And when we look at the evolution of these cards, it's very interesting because I really like the native Indian, because you're not an emperor, you're a master. Or you achieved mastery, right? So these two, again, very colorful, very vibrant, the way they depict, of course, the bizarre land shape. It's Mars, because that's your ruler. And he's ruled by the planets. Now he has a bee here in the circle, and the bee is also so structured and so organized, right? The queen bee, she is the one that holds many people together, right? And the eagle here, the eagle is in the Inca tradition the highest mental, the god brain. We start with the snake, then we go into the jaguar, which in a way you have somehow the jaguar, or like a lion, right? In your, I mean, here it's a sweet little cat down here at the base. But here, have a look. This is not a little cat. This is a real jaguar, right? The jaguar, then the colibri, or the hummingbird, right? In German it's called colibri. The hummingbird, and then the eagle. That's those 2 animals. Here you are, the ruler, and the sun, right, is giving you the power. Here, the number 4 for the formula of sulfur, and also Jupiter, right? So a lot of symbolisms, the sun right behind him, the 4-pointed crown, and of course there is inside of these orbs a 16-pointed star, and the 16 is referring to the 16th element, which is then the sulfur that you are connected with, right? The lamp, like tamed, and here a lamp, and here a light one and a dark one. So you are constantly facing the 2 opposite energy, right? The dark and the light. And he's looking over his right shoulder, right? When he looks over his right shoulder, he looks to the ram that's more dark, but the scepter is pointing at the male. This is the female, but he's looking at the female, almost like he's saying, where are you, Empress? Here, right? I need you next to me. Then, of course, the chief of the native Indians. I love this one because it says also form and structure gives you a hold. He sits here in front of the, of course, the fire, the circle connecting to Mars. And mastery, right? To be there for the whole, for the best of the whole, to be there not just for himself but for his group. If he is all alone, what is he gonna do? He needs people, right? He needs to be connected with his people. Then here in the Handle Tarot we see him completely naked. Yes, here I am, I don't need to hide. I know I'm connected with the tree, which is in a way his true castle. Hermann Handel, his story, this reconciliation, right, between the Jews and the German through the rune alphabet, because he was saved in World War II. In Russia he was a prisoner, and a Jew, a young Jewish soldier, saved his life, and it marked him. I mean, he was working very strongly then with this kind of symbolisms because he had a revelation there. I mean, of course, right? You're in a war killing the Jewish population, and then a Jew is saving your life. I mean, what a message. I mean, you know, this is why I really love some of these cards and I like to show them. So here, of course, my meditation in 4 directions, in the 4 elements, because the number 4 is for you. Here we go to Taurus, here we go to Pisces, right? And again, the earth, the green, Pisces, the orange color, and red and white. I still need to do here the night because this is the summer, the spring equinox, right? The mandala, the Tibetan, everything comes and goes, right? They create these beautiful, elaborate mandalas. And here in the center, of course, we can see how these heads are connecting in the end. They have all one mind, but they can look in all directions. The court card, if you are born between March 12th and April 9th, of course, you are the classical Queen of Wands. Queens are connected with water, with fertility from the hexagram, right? The triangle that's pointing down. And of course, you are fire, so it's the element E within you. You're already creating a sexual union. You're creating already a very powerful energy. It's almost like you're the witch with the wand, and like I said, the little cat here sitting cute. Here in Aleister Crowley, of course, she's more than a little cat, right? She's really a jaguar, right? And here I love it because again she sits in meditation and she is the wise priestess who gives energy to all. Very clear, right? Here she sits in her house that she has built, which we see again then in the 4 of Wands, right? That's where she begins to build it. Here in the handle, I mean, he was really bringing the wands to the Hindu scriptures. The pentacles are with the native Indians, the cups with the German tradition of Odin, and the swords. The swords are to the Egyptian gods and goddesses, right? So he really marked something. This is goddess Kali. She is the tantric goddess, and of course your sexuality is quite scary. You do crazy things, right? That's your energy. And you're a destroyer also of evil forces, but she's also Black Knight, the black woman, and she's the feminine, the liberation of the ego, and sits here, as you can see, right on top of this man and sucks his penis inside of her, right? She's the destroyer of the ego. Kali sometimes is even depicted. She's always sticking the tongue out. She sometimes has a chain of skulls around her head because she cuts off the people's head, right? So I have new cards, just that you see. I have the mystical tarot and the mystical moments, and I don't have them in German yet, in English yet, because they're sold out, and I have to wait until they print them again. They're apparently in German. They've been here for a while, but now they're producing them in English, and it takes a little while. So I will put an oracle for you. Meanwhile, you are Aries, right? Connected to the element fire, and the element fire, we want to eat protein. You also are connecting us to the sense organs, and the sense organs, I have 3, so I take the first one and we look at the other ones at the end. The sense organs, you also like to eat fruit, right? Your main organ is the head, or let's say even the brain. Then Mars, of course, is your planet, and you're the first house, and that's the self, right? If you not work on yourself, then you are ego, and if you work on yourself, then you become this beautiful transformation into self, into a higher self, into a higher consciousness. That's what you're looking for. You very right, you're a pioneer. You want to do things different. You love to go out and have adventures, and your main word is action, right? You're a fighter, you're a warrior. You want to know, you're spontaneous, you're enthusiastic. All these things that we sometimes think, wow. And yes, look at this. Number 13, which is the number 4, self-consciousness. At the same time, there's something watery and almost like a crying, a sadness, a heaviness. It's almost like this flower behind her is literally losing, right? Energy, is crying. Up here, the little bird, right, that is looking away from her, and she stands here and she holds a basket that is made of a leaf, and the tears or the water drops are literally coming out of here, of her basket. Now, it's not easy for me to translate this because it's German, but I will do my best. Now, to face your own fears and self-consciousness and a knowing, right? To gain a knowingness. Here in this picture we see a woman who collects raindrops. This morning dew girl reflects or symbolizes the receiving and the acceptance of all sorrows and problems and also fears. She asks us to share our feelings and fears with others. You can speak with the person of your heart about anything that moves you, instead of burying your problems deep within. At the same time, this card shows us our own strength. We are capable of facing our own fears and to see what is behind the fruit, and to actually come to terms with the shadow. We are strong enough to go from the dark into the light and to discover our true self. What did I say, right? You are now, in a way, it's indicating and saying, yes, you are facing yourself, your fears, your sorrows, which is amazing because that's exactly what you're supposed to be doing. If you don't do that, then you're in the ego, right? Because your house is the self. And if the emperor sits on his chair, and as you can see, he sits here with his feet in metal shoes, right? And I always say that we need 12 or 11 friends, and each of them in a different sign. And I ask you to check, do you have a friend in each of the zodiac signs? If you do, right, that's great. It means that you are a leader, right? That you are a leader that can accept the differences of all the people. Because, let's say for example, Pisces, it's in the feet, right? And the feet is all the way down here. You're up here, right? You like feet? But if you don't accept a Pisces, who is the one that walks and has the feet, right? Then where are you going to go and bring your amazing ideas towards, if you don't have hands, which is connected to the Gemini? Where are you going to, you cannot do anything. So incorporate, become aware of your whole body, right? Very important that you accept the people of all different lives and all different energies, right? Okay, so these cards, I have to tell you, are really mystical. Like she's writing mystical tarot. And I can only do 6, and I decided to do the hexagram. I don't want to do the 9, because maybe later I will do 9 again. But right now I want to do 6. It's enough, because I can read so many stories. And it's like, it's almost too much. It's like, it's too many stories then, right? And I cannot really go into the details. Look at you, the magician, yeah. Interesting enough, in the German reading, this card was the female magician. So here, it's indicating, again, the magician is beginning. You begin by accepting, you look at the colors, you begin by accepting the shadow side in you, the fear, the side that you don't like to lose control, right? But if you don't become someone like this, if you don't show your nakedness, your vulnerability, that you also as a leader make mistakes, you're never going to lead the people, because you're always going to be like, yes, well, I know everything and I'm good and So it's letting me know that when you accept your shadow side, when you step out, when you're self-conscious and you are really truly in this self-conscious, then God is putting up this head, and the head is literally your home. Then you can begin a magic journey into the High Priestess. Well, look at that. It's like a couple. Very powerful. Look how beautiful. This is the magician and the High Priestess. The male and the female versions of true empowerment. The one and the dual. With the two, we can understand what life is made of. Self-conscious, you collecting all the sorrows and all the tears, and you accepting them, almost nourishing the vegetation so that it can grow. You see how powerful her cards are? I mean, it's just like very... So, I can see you really beginning something powerful because you incorporating the masculine and the feminine here. I mean, this is so strong. I leave them together. I don't want to put anything after. And the journey is you up here. As I said, the eagle that we see here is up here and can see the curvature of the planet. He's the only one that has that higher consciousness. And at the same time, you're also ready to dive deep into your emotions and go for a journey of not knowing. If you have the Fool, it's the seed. He gives direction to the seed, and she gives depth and the duality of the seed to grow further. Because through the duality we grow. Here we don't grow, we just give it a direction. The seed is waiting to take its journey, and here it's like, it's wow. Five of Wands. Of course, with the Five of Wands, this is a big challenge for you because it's connected to Saturn in Leo, right? And Leo is also a fire sign. It's the king of Wands. And here she plays with the male, all the male, because it's a struggle or a conflict or a desire to win. And that's exactly what I said, right? You cannot become the one that thinks you're the only one that's empowered. You gotta come off, you gotta connect deep within to a different dimension. You know, you're not just going out there and saying, well, look at me, I'm the king, I'm this right powerful person. No, I want you rather here, smoking this peace pipe and create peace. And that's what you have to learn, right? The five in a way is almost connected to Gevura, and Gevura is the challenge of humankind, the number five. And Gevura is a strength or severity that we learn in this stage of the five. It's in the center between 1 and 10. And all the fives are not really positive, right? So it's not one element has maybe a better, no. All five elements in the fives, all four elements and the fives are not very, giving you a work, giving you something to overcome, giving you like the struggle is what makes you grow. Right? So, nevertheless, you have to look down at this game. This is the game of life. This is the game of humans. You're above that. If you're self-conscious and if you accept your shadow side. And that's what's so beautiful, right? Is that we never arrive and are fully complete. I mean, then it's like, yes, then you're a guru, then you're a priest. But the message in all of the readings is always like, we continue to grow, and everything is a spiral. Everything is spiraling. Nothing is straightforward and yeah, it's behind me. No, we're spiral. And if I come back to the top that I did something negative, I will come back again and I will get the lesson again until I understand it on a certain level. Right? So, yeah, if you are up here, you can also feel like, and again, in some of her pictures, it's about oversized people, right? And here, the woman, is big, the female, even though it's Saturn in Leo, and Leo is actually connected to the king. She rather painted it a female who is playing with the male, because the male is the one that is competing with each other. And then the Eight of Swords, it's saying somehow you feel trapped in a game, even though you're so powerful. You're so powerful, look at that. But you feel trapped and overburdened. I mean, look at that, the 10 of Wands. And so now from 5 in this 8 of Swords, and 8 of Swords is Jupiter in Gemini, which is then Sun in Gemini in the next month or in the next reading. There is something coming to you that you still have to face. 5 and 10. So it's not enough. You feel like you need to compete. You feel like you need to win. That traps you. And if you would look up, to these two, you would see that you are this angel and you're free, and you wouldn't even trap yourself even more and do more stuff, because then you would see how powerful you truly are. Right? So the mind, this is action oriented, this is you, but the mind is trapped. So now I have 5, I need one more, let's see. Okay, there's more that came out, and I, of course, accept them, right? So, then we have the 3 of Cups. And the 3 of Cups is Mercury in Cancer. Here is then the joy to be in a group. And Cancer is healing. Cancer is the feeling of a group. Sometimes it also means drinking, having fun, enjoying. And this lady, she's very tall. She holds 2 rings, right? And each of them she holds on to this ring, and she holds her own ring in the center. So it's almost like very interesting combination. It's the 3 stages of the Hierophant. Is the inhale up, exhale down, spiritual body, mind, and spirit. And in a way, all 3 are in one circle, One is holding to it, and she holds one circle, and she's I mean, it's you see how I'm gonna now. I need to figure this out, right? I need to figure out what she's trying to say here. And the 8, you feeling trapped. And again, the 8, you want to move forward, because as you can see, these are couples, 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 couples. 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And she has 8 dots on her little dress, and she's moving forward to find her true partner, which is the Ace of Pentacles now, where you find a stability, where you find a financial new beginning. It's almost like you got to get away from something. Wow, right? So, okay, I get it. So these 3 are together, and here I have the 6, okay? So let's look at this again. I need to also look, of course, what's at the bottom. 9 of Wands, okay. Right? 9, 10. So from 10 you go back to 9. Something hasn't yet been understood, but you also understand there is something new wanting to grow, a stability, a financial stability that grows here into this one rose. Even though you've been hurt, even though you have had your experiences. And the 9 of Wands is Moon in Sagittarius. So, we still have also Hope and Flower Child. Look at that. Okay. If you accept your shadow side, if you accept the side that you're not always perfect, that you can only lead by being truly yourself, by being honest to others, that you also make mistakes, let's say, even though we never make mistakes because everything is a learning process. Like we know in the 5, Gevura is problems are here so that we can grow, so that we can face them and overcome them and become stronger. And this is immediately the first card that indicated that. And that card says, now if you face that, then hope is always there. She wears a white blouse. Then here this white rose, right, that she's facing. Then this hope becomes you as that new child, that new flower child that has incorporated everything that you have learned, everything that you have understood, because you know the energies of male and female are here for us to grow, are here, and of course the new child within you can now go forward, right? Can go forward. And yes, you're learning a big lesson here. In this earthly dimension, you're learning not to compete. You're learning that you are not that small, you're big, and you can free yourself in your mind. You're learning that even though you thought you compete, you don't have to collect all the flowers, right? And look at that. She has so many flowers on top of her, and she still wants to get all these 10 flowers, which is 10 is the Malkut, right? Is on the tree of life. Malkut is the kingdom. Then here we see that you want to celebrate, and you want to find a partner, and you emotionally move forward because you went from 3 to 8, so that something new can grow. Also financially, a new stability can grow. Nevertheless, you do have still wounds, no matter, right? No matter how much in our life we've been through things, but remember, look at this. The wounds, the child doesn't have the wounds anymore. If you understand the true meaning of this dimension, learning, growing, being a leader, no matter how much a leader gets attacked, gets wounded, the child in it can always begin new. Always. The child can begin new. Whew, intense, intense. Okay, 10. The flower child, the words here are empathy, playfulness, inspiration, and to take care. In hope, we have longing and dreams and fulfillment. There's a longing, right? There's a longing. And I think the tears here, this somehow there is something inside of you that's wounded. There is a woundedness inside of you. And at the same time, of course, because you are the male and the female, right? You are this powerful energy. You are the queen, which is water, of wands, which is fire, right? Fire and water. Look at the ocean that she has, divided by these 2 curtains. And never, you gotta learn. You gotta learn to accept your true size, the true strength that lies within you. To not compete and to not accumulate and to want to be the winner. It will overburden you. And that's maybe only in your head, right? That you want to compete is in your head. Then here, of course, the 3 of Cups is abundance, success, pleasure, but also a healing that is now saying, I gotta move forward. I gotta move and find my partner, my soulmate, myself. I gotta find myself. Then a new, right, hope, a new energy is growing. No matter what has happened to you. No matter how many wounds you have gotten, cut, and bleeding. Oh, so of course when I took the card off the deck, the Devil, Capricorn, right? So the only person that's here is a Capricorn. There's not another person here, right? Magician has no person, and the High Priestess has no person. This is the first dimension. This is the material dimension. This is where we understand, right? So in a way I feel this is where we understand. Sometimes my mind goes quickly to another one. I'll get back to that. But sometimes we got to understand that only in uniting the male and the female, in uniting and hoping that I will grow no matter what, right? She's looking at her from the future into the past, seeing this child here, knowing that she is powerful, no matter what she has gone through. Now, the Amnamida muscaria is being used in the Northern Hemisphere as for hallucinogenic ceremonies, and the shaman was using them, right? One of the oldest Christmas tree decoration is a little mushroom, Amnamida muscaria mushroom. And she's the spider woman, and she usually creates a web, and she holds 2 cherries in her hand, meaning seducing you. You are being seduced into a worldly energy, even though you have above you, you know, it's almost like you kind of need to go through one more round. Like I said, right, everything is circular. And whatever karma I send out, it will come back in another round and another round until I understand it. So the devil, the word devil is spelled backwards, lived. Everything that you have lived, let it go, because something new wants to grow. And it's not just one, it's 2. Sorry. It was like this. Yeah. Right? She's looking away from all that pain that was on top, right? She doesn't know that she has gone through all this difficulty. All she wants is grow. And I think that's the main message. All you want is grow. You want to grow. No matter what difficulties come to you, and you go and become within you, right? The Magician and the High Priestess. Look at that. Become this powerful, enigmatic personality. Don't wait. Because there's hope. There's always hope. There's always another turn, right, that we can take and realize, oh, another lesson, another moment I can grow. So, in a way, here the 8, right, that's Jupiter in Gemini. We have, in the next month, we have the Gemini energy. The Sun in Gemini, right, and it's the Lovers. So, let's see. Right, you working on yourself, and you have, I mean, you're powerful. I really want to focus on this. There's this hope. There's this combination of black and white, and the acceptance of all emotions. Like a child cries, and then it laughs, and then it can cry, and it can go through all these emotions all at once. In a moment she's like this, and the next moment she feels like that, right? And don't allow yourself ever to be imprisoned by your own thoughts. Because when you just, of course, play a game, right? Play a game of accumulating and of showing how powerful you are. Saturn in Sagittarius, oppression, right? It's also selfishness. It's like thinking only about yourself, right? And then, of course, there is pleasure and having fun and all of that in between, but it's not really has such a strong meaning, particularly when this is before, right? So, yeah. But nevertheless, there's a new growth, there's a new physical, earthly understanding that looks away from how much, you have been hurt. I leave it there. I leave it there. Hope. But, right? It was like this. She came later. Hope. Don't give up, right? Don't put yourself into a prison ever. Hope, hope, hope. Hope here. New hope, because the magician governs all the aces. Making things grow again, no matter what. No matter what you went through, it doesn't matter. Hope is the only thing incorporating, hoping, and being like a child again. Good. Well, thank you so much for watching. I see you in the next reading, hopefully, right? And yeah, don't give up ever, right? There is so much to grow into. There's so much to understand. There's so much to experience in this life. Then, thank you so much. Namaste.